I think
Crawford.
I will go.
Yo, what up? Man, late last night, Wednesday, the WBO ordered the mandatory fight between Terrence Bud Crawford and Sean Showtime Porter. Which, kind of fishy because, Sean Porter was the mandatory for like a whole year. He never activated his mandatory. I don't know what's going on Sean Porter's end, but at the end of the day, he has no excuse now. Unless, the whole PBC blackballing Terrence Crawford. That's the only excuse he really has, because I know he came out on his podcast before and he said, hey, he got people he needs to answer to. And, that was one of the reasons why the fight didn't happen. However, man, I don't know, man. I just got a feeling personally, even though I'm kind of happy that the WBO mandated it, I just got that feeling this fight ain't gonna happen, man. That's just my personal opinion. And even Terrence Crawford said it in the tweets as well when he talked to Mike Carpenter. He basically said, hey, man, I've been trying to get the top fights this whole time. And, and you can read the rest in his tweets, but at the end of the day, man, I don't know, man. I mean, I would like to see the fight happen because, to be honest with you, I do agree. A lot of these guys on a PBC panel, they don't want to fight Bud. It seems like they want career high paydays when it comes to fighting Bud. So they need to prove that they really all about that smoke. Because I know what the narrative is. The narrative is Bud hasn't fought anybody. Bud is ducking and smoke. He needs to fight Sean Porter first. He needs to fight Danny Garcia first. He needs to fight Ugas first, Thurman first. He needs to fight Kell Brook first. But then, once Terrence Crawford knocked out Kell Brook, all of a sudden they said Kell Brook is washed. And I got a feeling if he does fight Sean Porter, like if those two guys do fight and he stops Sean Porter, that narrative will continue. They will say Sean Porter was nothing but Thurman and Spence leftovers, which is kind of weird because, to be honest with you, that should be more like Brook and Thurman leftovers if they want to really use that narrative. I mean, Sean Porter, he's a tough fighter, but, a lot of people compare him to a football player. It's like he just says down, set, hut, and just go charging. And he's kind of reckless. He's tough. He's durable. But at the end of the day, I don't think he can fuck with Bud, man. That's just my personal opinion. But let's see that fight happen. That's if Sean Porter actually get into the fight. Now, because the fight was mandated, I understand they got 30 days to, get the negotiations done. And if not, it's going to go to a purse bid. And I 100% believe this fight is going to go to a purse bid. I mean, I could be wrong. But at the end of the day, I just don't, I don't see PBC and Top Rank coming together and negotiating this fight. We will just have to see what's going to happen with that. But we know certain YouTube channels, they like to steer that narrative like I was talking about earlier. And it almost seemed like they stir up this narrative in order to use roadblocks for Terrence Crawford not to fight Errol Spence. Because they pretend Errol Spence is like that so-called boogeyman. But I know what it is. See, these same guys that used to be on Terrence Crawford's side, they started hating him the minute he moved up to 147 pounds. Because, remember, he was told to get a belt first. He got that belt first. He beat the guy who beat Pacquiao, Jeff Horn. He got that belt and everybody started talking about other sides of the streets, the Bob Aaron, whatever they want to spill. They just don't want to fight Terrence Crawford. We know that. The real boxing fans know that. Not these so-called fucked up ass stands that, that are out there and whatnot. But, yeah, man. So, like I said, man, once Terrence Crawford beats Sean Porter, they're going to move the goalpost again. And I truly don't see Errol Spence giving Terrence Crawford that match unless Terrence Crawford gets about 35, 36 years old, 37, when he push way up there. That's the only way I think Errol Spence is going to give Terrence Crawford that match. Or let's just say if Terrence Crawford looks real vulnerable against Sean Porter, then Errol Spence is going to give Terrence Crawford that match. Because we already know, man, these guys, they don't want the smoke with Terrence Crawford. Like I said earlier, they don't want that damn smoke. So the time is ticking, and we will see what will happen in the future. On the end of that note, family, peace.
Man, fuck your opinion.